Hear me when I say this. God wants us to be prepared. There are many things we face in this life, but we must be prepared. We never know the day or the hour or the time when things may change in our lives. It can happen in the instance, and He wants us to be prepared. This ain't the time for play. This is not the time to be playing with God. This is the time for us to stand up and do what we have to do for Him. For us to be prepared in this life whenever He comes. We never know when He's going to come. He can come in an instant. I'm trying to tell you the truth because this is what God has told me to come and tell you guys, and also prepare for myself. A lot of us don't know when God is going to come through and He's going to come and change this whole entire nation. You don't want to be the one to not be prepared when it's time. I'm telling you guys, you do not want to be the one that is not prepared when it's time for God to come. It is so much going on in this world that we don't know what's next. We don't know what's going to happen. So it's better to be prepared than anything. It's better to know whose you are. And it's better for you to know where you're going than to be unprepared when it's time. Because God wants us to come to Him, all that are burdened, all that are weary, all that are going through situations. He wants to pull you through in this life and make sure that you know exactly where you're going in this life. You don't know where you're going. If you don't know where you're going, you better get to knowing. God wants to pull you up out of that situation and change you. He don't want you out there in them streets. He don't want you out there doing things that people are doing. You want to be prepared. He wants you to be closer to Him. He wants to draw you in and give you His Spirit. He wants to lift you up and change your very life. This is why a lot of us have not known what God is doing, because we have not been paying attention. The only thing we pay attention to is this world. But if we're paying attention to God, we'll know that God is going to come through and change us and shift the atmosphere for our life. Even if He has to come in and it's time for us to go, we'll know exactly where we're going. We know who we are. We know who God is. When we get to know God, we know who He is and we know where we're going, and we'll be prepared. I want you to be prepared. God says He wants you to be prepared. That's the message for today. Be prepared. Get yourself in order. Get your life in order. All of us. I'm not only saying this for you. This is for all of us. We have to get our lives in check, okay, with God, because He is the ultimate